Okay, we are live. I do believe we should be working. We're working? Yay, all right. So, again, I'm going to be teaching the Dharma. And the Dharma, I keep talking about the Dharma, and I have to emphasize the reality of the Dharma because it's a protective field. It's a protective, energetic field that comes from, if you were a saint, if you were, really evolved, a master, the Dharma would be your field, your influence. When people meet a master, quite often accidents stop happening. Good things start happening. You might fall down, but you don't even get a bruise. You might get an accident, but you come out unscathed because you have a guru in your life. You have someone on that level that is influencing you with the blessings of Dharma. And Dharma is a protective field. And we don't know of it because we're not in a world that teaches Dharma. Our governors don't teach Dharma. Our president doesn't talk of Dharma. And our mayor doesn't talk of Dharma. The police officer doesn't talk of Dharma. Doesn't say, oh, you're not really practicing good Dharma, are you? Maybe you should drive a little slower, Put those things in your words, you might get a difference. If we're in a world of Dharma, we're protecting each other. The police officer really is a police officer. There to protect you, there to listen to you, and you have within you no immorals, none. You're actively been in the Dharma for a long time. The whole world has. So we have world peace, we have everything, and everything is an influence of the Dharma. When we go to the judge, if we're going to be judged for something, then we're judged for a lack of morals. And how is it we have a lack of morals? And the judge doesn't send you to prison. The judge sends you to meditation skills, sends you to heal, sends you to spend more time developing your morals. And because you just didn't have the experience of being a moral person. You have more experience of being an immoral person. So that you get caught. And you go to the court, and the court goes, well, bad karma gonna come your way. Let's fix that. We don't need any more bad karma in the world. What kind of judge talks like that? But it's our Dharma judge, good person, because they see everything in bodhicitta in another person. They see everything as a potential in that person. They understand the lack of morals that come from our history and the karma that is embodied in us. And when we meet someone who suffers like this, it's not judgment, It's a time of someone listening. We're going to take this time. We're going to take this moment. We're going to find out what is wrong. And we're going to fix it together. Judge offers opportunities and circumstances, and you agree. It's the spirit of cooperation that we're fighting for. Where we have within ourselves the spirit of cooperation. And that's the Dharma. Without the Dharma, we don't have the spirit of cooperation. We have gossip. We have misunderstanding. We have misdirected ideas. We have pride. We have ego. We have selfishness. We have all these different things that do exist, whether it's in the animal realm and you have, someone pecking at you, and beating at you and chasing you, getting their territorial imperative. Look throughout the animal world. We don't have a problem understanding that. It takes time, but the truth is the truth. Animals behave like animals. They don't have the higher mind. They do have compassion and empathy. They really do. Every animal has compassion and empathy. Every animal has a soul. But it only has certain levels of soul. You can only do so much. Its dharma is its activity. It serves for that activity, whether you're an insect or a bird or a plant or an animal. You are within the law of the dharma. Yeah. So it becomes intuitively, it becomes instinctually, it comes automatically, yeah, as our instincts, as our intuition. Yeah. You can see it in the ant, you can see it in the bird. You know, every single thing is part of their instincts. It's part of the manifestation of their very lifelong reality inside the tree of life, inside of life. Yeah, their destiny. It's dharma. Not one thing would be in this world without having a purpose. And purpose behind everything is dharma. It protects us, provides us, and that's called the will of God. The will of God. Yeah. So when we go against the will of God and harm a person, yeah, God won't harm anybody. God's not going to slap you. God's not going to stab you. You know? God's not going to do anything to harm you. God's not going to do anything to take you down. You know, even though in your lower mind, the way you would do it, how it might happen, all your fears, yeah, has nothing to do with God. God will deal with it with compassion and empathy and the best possible outcome for everybody. Yeah. That's just how it works, because that's commonality. It's common ground. Community. Yeah. It's part of reality. Reality is just like being in a nest with birds. Yeah, we're a bird, we're a nest of birds. We're going to have these things happen. All of a sudden, mommy comes, daddy comes, worms come, you know. They protect us, they build a home, they build a nest. Where do they get these smarts? Yeah, what school do they go to learn this stuff? You know. But in ourselves, we have a lot of wisdom we have to reinstill. We have to redevelop our wisdom in order to be moralistic. Yeah, because for every immoral act, we become stupider. That's our karma. Because good thoughts come out of your brain. Yeah, good thoughts. Happiness, joy, peace. Yeah, love toward another person. The ability to react and respond. The ability to carry out a job and get paid well for it. Yeah, that's a nice life. If you have a good brain, if you're not nuts, if you're not moved by other things that move your emotion and move you, yeah, you never have any idea as to how much things move you. Yeah. If you just start fantasizing sexually, just start fantasizing sexually, and then add a little bit more to it. Go look for a picture, go look for a video, you know, do something to stimulate the mind. You're stimulating the mind. And you interact with that. You have a relationship there in that moment. You can either choose to do that, you know, be drawn to that. You have to literally initiate it. It's not natural. It doesn't happen naturally. Yeah, you have to initiate it. Yeah, it's just there to go pee. That's it. Yeah, it's there to have babies. Yeah, but that's so rare. Like 1 out of 100 lives, you might have a child. Yeah. Yeah, it's a rare thing, being born as a human being. It's a rare thing. It's a sacred thing. It's a rare thing. It's a soul. It's a high being. Could be God. That's how rare humans are. Any one of them could be the incarnation of the Avatar. Could be our Lord and Savior. Any one of them. So we have to treat them all just like that. Yeah, you never know. You never know. And it's so rare and so beautiful, you know. You look at a baby and it's goo, God, goo, goo, oh my. That's incredible. Yeah. And everything about us have our natural instincts in our relationship center. That's our relationship center. It's how we relate, you know. But we have to use this brow center. We have to do something immoral. We have to use our thought. We have to use, and sometimes we don't even instigate our thought. It's true. What if there's a being like Lilith in the world? Or a being like Lucifer in the world? Yeah? Those beings are bisexual. Rare as they are, but they are. They're bisexual, and they're freaking horny. They dress horny, male or female, all muscular, all pretty for the boys or the girls. Yeah? Everything your desire body would want, your thought form, and the lower mind is the manifestation of Lilith and Lucifer. Yeah? And your lower mind, it's their mind, not your mind. Your mind is a higher mind. Your mind is with the Lord. Your mind is with God. Your mind is a child of God. Yeah? And all the rest of you are brothers and sisters as children of God. And you have nothing to do with Lucifer and Lilith, who are not children of God. They've chose to be the mother and father of demons. And the way they do that is that they have to seduce human beings in the night, or through a relationship, through bad relationships, through seduction, yeah, by stimulating your lower chakras and getting you to have a desire body, a strong desire body, yeah. And it's oriented in ways that are 100% not natural, not natural. And we're so not natural now that we have to make laws to make it okay to be super not natural. To where you're so not natural, you change nature in itself. You create new genders because it's all about sex. The fall. Yeah? The fall isn't sex. Sex is the outcome of the misuse of your brain. Yeah? You can do it all alone and, have those thoughts. And once you do it, you trigger your hormones, you trigger your chakras. You have to use your lower mind to fulfill selfish desires. It's a selfish desire, folks. It's selfish. It's self. Yeah? Start off with yourself, and then you go looking for something. You make bars. Yeah? Yeah? You create group scenarios. Yeah? And if you really want to get into it, you fall into witchcraft with warlocks and witches. And you find people that use all kinds of things in order to increase this sexual desire. Yeah, this process of sexual desire. And it's completely unnatural. And I'm not saying, that it's evil or that there's anything wrong with sex. There's nothing wrong with sex in heaven. There's nothing wrong with sex as an angel. There's nothing wrong with sex. Because you simply would not be doing anything immoral. Therefore, what you're going to do is not immoral. Yeah? And you're going to do it with the right person. And it's going to be rare. Why? Because you're rare. You're a human being. You're the rarest of the rarest gems. Yeah? You're a jewel. Yeah? You're everything. You're a diamond. You're a jewel. You're all the beautiful flowers you can imagine. You're the most beautiful of all animals. You're the most beautiful of all plants. You're the most beautiful of all things. Is a human being. Yeah? It has the ability to communicate with God, have a direct conversation, and be the mediator between all the other kingdoms. Yeah? Send the love of God to an animal. And it has a hard time receiving the love of God without humanity. Without humanity. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah. So we become inhumane when we become selfish. And we become selfish when we develop desire. And our first desire is selfish. Yeah. What would be? Where would our selfishness start? Yeah. How did the chakras get down there like that? Yeah. How did the seventh ray drop to the base? And when it does that, it means that it's not sacred anymore. Yeah. It's no longer sacred. Yeah, it's no longer sacred. Yeah. Imagine if we're born as angels. Yeah, we were created as angels, as the image of God. Yeah, and we're brothers and sisters with moral qualities and characteristics that makes us brothers and sisters. Yeah? It's the moral qualities that make us question whether or not we should be more than brothers and sisters, or this or that. Yeah? All those things come up through our desire body. And whether or not we take the time to fulfill certain aspects of our desire body depends on just how low do we go. Yeah? If you study the only thing actually that creates all the evil and dark forces is the misuse of the desire body. Yeah? We have no idea that that desire body does what it does. So when black magicians come into play, like you get a person like, what's his name, Hugh Hefner, yeah? You get a person like him and you wonder, whoa, how can someone get such a big desire body, And he talks all the girls into being nude and, show sex and pictures and, and make a magazine with a fold out, so that you can really exhibit, a lack of any kind of limitation like inhibition. What would inhibit you from carrying out like this? Exhibiting yourself in this way as an exhibitionist. Because that's what's going on. He is slowly but surely talking women into becoming an exhibitionist, going, well, let's just try seeing your shoulder. Well, I don't think so. My mom wouldn't like that. I don't think so. No way. Well, your mom's not here, so let's just take a picture with your shoulder. And they keep going, no, I don't think so. My dad would not like that. My dad would really get mad. No, I'm not going to do it. It's going to be on the magazines. But you do it long enough, tempt them long enough, then the money comes in. And even dad says he likes it. Even mom says that's okay. And you do it long enough, It fits into, being a model. Well, I started off as a model. They told you, hey, you want to come? Pose for pictures, be a model. Come to find out you're not there to be a model. You're there to fulfill the desire body. And you have no idea that you're in the middle of sex magic. And that there's a big, long plot of processes that moves us from sex magic to money magic. And each one of these girls, imagine you're normal, just an average person, you're 18 years old. As a girl, you don't have much opportunities in the world, You might go be a secretary, you might go and, be a dental assistant or even a dentist or maybe a nurse. And if you really go far and you're really, really smart and you got all the money in the world, you can be a doctor. So the main thing is that women's choices aren't that high when it really comes down to it. Some of the highest things women would get into is being an airline stewardess or a nurse. And you go through so much school to be a nurse, so screw that. You'll be an airline stewardess. And if you can be an airline stewardess, then you can be a model, because to be an airline stewardess, you have to be a model. You have to keep your weight at a certain form, you have to have a certain beauty, you have to be willing to wear makeup, you have to be willing to present yourself, to sell the airline. You're not there to just serve, you're there to present yourself. And it's a temptation. That's a bad job. Terrible job. Being a stewardess and everything, that's not so bad, but it leaves you in with no thresholds of growth and who you're going to become. And, like you would if you were any other human being, whether it be boy or girl. We shouldn't be in that. We should be equal. We should be free. We should be free. There's so many things out there that needs to be done. So many things, creative things that need to be done. And the main thing is that we need to be peaceful. We need to have morals. We need to have ethics. But we have no real understanding as to what the heck is a moral or an ethic. And how does that work in relationship to living our daily life? You know? So for us to strengthen our abilities, we have to come to understand that we're moved through our chakric development. Yeah, we're moved by that. And we're moved by our godliness. We're moved by our spiritual development. Yeah. And the further we're going to go, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, as we evolve, it's going to become because of our spiritual development. How much have we evolved over that period of time? If not, we go to inertia, we continue having problems, and we go through the life that we do. Because we did not develop the dharma, the protection. We remained ignorant in relationship to what can protect us. You know, we leave it up to, well, let's pray. Let's pray. Let's get our cross out, put our cross on, and let's pray, and let's go to church on Sunday. If not, let's open the Bible, you know, and read from it, and try and get ourselves to a place to where we have faith in a trying time, where we're suffering and we're dying really badly. Yeah. And we could be going to war, and we can, all these things just keep going on. Yeah. And we really don't have much an alternative to make these things go a different direction. You know, to make life go the way it's supposed to be. Because we have no idea how it's supposed to be. Yeah. We are, in every way, shape, or form, we're living in a dream. Yeah. And we're not in a horrible dream. You know, we could be in Yugoslavia, you know, we could be in Africa, we could be in other places, but here we are. Yeah. And the thing is that we're in this world in relationship to every single living human being on the planet. But that's not an understanding. And the Dharma, its entire influence in the world is based on that understanding. The fact that we are all one. We're all of this human beingness. Now we have to look at each other, you know, as spiritual beings, not as material beings, or not as faulty beings, you know, not as people who are full of immorals and everything, you know, because that's not going to get us anywhere. But we have to receive transmission, because what we don't know is that we're receiving transmission already, but it's not from a good place. And we're responding to that transmission already, and it's not from a good place. Yeah. When we go to school, yeah, we walk into school, we sit with our teacher, we do what we do, and are we developing our chakras? Are we gaining wisdom? Are we developing and healing, making ourselves a better person, a wiser person, yeah, more understanding, more complementary toward the problems of the world, yeah? Or are we just kind of like get into school, get out of school, get it done and over with, graduate, you know, spent the years, now maybe I'll go to college, you know, if I can, yeah? And the process is that we as a human race carry the chakras on a whole planet, the whole planet, yeah, as human beings. Yeah, it's not a separate scenario. Here we're Germans, or here we're a certain kind of race, or anything like that. We're human beings. So we have, as Dharma, the law of Dharma is that human beings are the embodiment for Dharma. There's the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. Yeah? And human beings are the activity of harmlessness, kindness, caring, sharing, giving, understanding, learning, letting go of disliking people, judging people, having jealousy, all of those different things, all through the actions of Dharma. These things get cleared. Yeah? But it requires us to receive transmission. Without that, we're receiving transmission from another place, which is causing all of our suffering. We have no idea that that's what's going on. We have no idea that that's what rules our governing body. That's why we have the president we do. That's why people are shooting people in schools. That's why laws are being made so it's easy for a person to get a gun and have a holster and walk around with a gun, and buy bigger and badder bullets and get machine guns and have them legally in your home with children. This is highly immoral. Yeah, it's highly immoral. Yeah, so many wrongs you can check. You can spend your entire life going, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's going to lead to somebody getting hurt, that's going to kill somebody, some kid's going to pick that up and kill themselves. And so many wrongs because we have no cooperation. The influence behind cooperation comes from the Lord. There are very specific behavioral activities that the Lord presents. But the difficulty is that we're not in relationship to the Lord. Hearing those words, hearing that understanding, being able to capitulate, to be able to hear what he has to say, and then discern that and put that into application, a little hard to do. Yeah. And the main reason is because we have the psychic influence that comes from the Dark Lodge. And they're influencing you. They're influencing your lower psychic ability. Yeah. When you get frustrated, when you get angry, when you get weak, when you get intolerant, when you do tolerate things that are more sixth ray, more, oh yeah, what about the gay people, we should be considering that, and you get into this philosophical thing inside your brain as to whether or not, well, what's wrong with that? People need to love each other, two guys together, you rationalize and you go through these philosophical games in order to justify where your mind has to go to clearly discern or discriminate. And you can't. It's in God's will. God's will discerns and discriminates. Your problem is that your will's not God's will. The mind would be there with you. Your morals would be there with you. The difficulty is where the Dark Lodge is influencing us without us knowing it. It's affecting us in the news. It's affecting us on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, it affects us. We have no idea that that is what's going on. That the amount of energy that we're picking up on is coming from an enormous amount of energy from Russia, or from other countries that are in enormous immoral aspects that can't get cleaned, can't get cleared, can't change their way of attitude and their actions. Yeah. So they just have this enormous amount of velocity that goes toward more and more and more and more and more destruction. Yeah, more destruction. And it's all totally just energy. Just energy. Yeah. It's like a poison. Yeah. It's like imperil. Yeah. It's like avarice. Yeah. It's like all these different things that we know exist. You can say them in words, but how would you explain it in terms of how it has an effect upon you? Yeah. How it keeps you from not being able to radiate the light that you need to be radiating. Yeah. And that always comes by being relaxed. Yeah. Being sustained. Yeah. Getting simpler in your day-to-day life. It just kind of repeats itself, and there's not a big deal about that day over this day. They're very, very, very similar. Yeah. And that's perfectly okay. Yeah. You live through that process where things aren't that big of a change. You don't know the difference between Saturday or Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. Yeah. Because that's how it is. Life is that simple. Yeah. Life is that well organized in the process of what we do. Without the structure of what should we do? What would we do? How can we do what we're going to do? Yeah. All those things come from that fifth ray, that doubting mind, that questioning mind, that rationalizing mind, that mind that goes into, well, I don't know if we should have gay or not, what's so bad about, a guy turning into a girl, and testing, or maybe just being, bisexual and having sex with boy and girl. You're just experimenting, what's wrong with that? All those things, even having those thoughts and being able to put it into that kind of thought form, you have to push your fifth ray up here, which is where you know God. Yeah. This conversation doesn't even begin. Doesn't even start. Yeah. If your fifth ray is up here. Yeah. Because you know all the rules. You know all the understandings. You simply don't have the immoral knee-jerk process that comes with that ability. Yeah. So it pretty much diffuses everything that we know in the world as being heavily important, really majorly important. Yeah, like super rich people, all the gangling people, and the angry people, and the people who own countries, and people who are, like, you got Putin. Well, he's not just Putin, he's not just a president, he's the oligarch. He wants to be the richest person on planet Earth. That might be really what's going on. Maybe he's not really interested in being president or anything like that. Maybe he's just cracker-ass barrels evil, immoral. And how does this work out? Well, it goes back to Hugh Hefner. You think, you go, okay, well, he's a playboy. Yeah. Well, that's not uncommon. A lot of guys are playboys. That's what guys do. If you're really handsome and you really have your skills together, and all that kind of stuff. So we justify, we rationalize. Yeah. Why? Because you're a guy and you're separating yourself and you're going, yeah, well, I might like to do that. Yeah. Because when the mind goes in that direction, all of a sudden your hormones go in that direction. And it's no longer just for peeing. It has another use. Yeah? And it's not procreation. Yeah? Yeah. It's extreme imbalance. It has a whole other life in it. Another life. Yeah? Not the life you were born to be, but another life. Yeah? And then once that gives in there, once you become sensitive to that, and you're out of control with it because it's hormones now. It was going to be your minor chakras. It was going to be your chakras. It was going to be your divine relationship to your initiations. Your higher self, the monad, soul, all this was coming into play. But all we got to do is break our relationship with the will of God. And all of a sudden, we find that who it is that's up against God, which is Lilith and Lucifer and all of Satan, that's where the influence comes from. It hits us. And we don't know that it's going on. So everybody's blindly ignorant. Oh, does Satan exist? Oh, does Lucifer exist? Oh, witches, warlocks? What are you talking about? How can that be? That's old stuff. That doesn't exist anymore. Then we get to the big thing, well, yeah, gay people and, children do get molested and raped, and men do rape women, and people do hate each other and jealousy, and they do kill each other over these things, and all these kind of it's rationalizing. Yeah? It's rationalizing the hormone interaction of cause and effect. Yeah? And it creates this enormous, we don't know. It's beginning the first stage, It disrupts this brow of our moral relationship of thinking and not having feelings in ways that we do because our brow is functioning. Our brow is functioning, yeah? And it always is, The moment we take a breath, our brow is functioning. All of our chakras are functioning. It's just whether or not there is anybody in the world that surrounds us that is projecting on us in some sexual way. Yeah? In some immoral way. Yeah? In some way that that justifies you to be less than who you really are and find fault in you and all many things, yeah, is just that negative current. That's just one chakra. That's just this one, yeah. And that moves down into your sacral center, yeah. And it's moved there by independent relationships outside yourself. It could come from false news, yeah. It can come from gossip, yeah. It can come from flirting. It can come from the way you exhibit yourself, and it creates a reaction in another, yeah. It can come from so many, and it does, yeah. And all the, whether you're watching TV or whether you're opening a magazine or whether you go to the store, yeah, go into any psychology department and then follow that to the department where the advertisement begins. And they always use psychologists in order to form the advertising department because they know that they can get you to buy anything psychologically, yeah, by inducing certain immoral aspects inside yourself to where you lose your inhibitions. You gain more desire body and you lose your inhibitions toward developing that desire body. Yeah. And they know this shit. Yeah. And they play it out for you. You know, whether it be Coca-Cola or at the movie, they used to pump in smell of popcorn, open the doors and pop popcorn and then say, intermission time. Now you need to go and get your popcorn, your hot dogs, and you don't come back for another 15 minutes, and we won't start the show until you get back. That's so that they'll make a whole bunch more money. And you go back in there and you eat all that shit, all that sugar, all that crap. Nothing good to eat. Nothing good to drink. And you can't bring your own food. Yeah? So nothing is set in our in our system that allows us to live correctly. We have manifested our desires into everything, whether it be we go to a movie, well, we add more junk shit, junk food, junk theater, you know, just bad movies, you know. You got the Holocaust coming at you, The Walking Dead, you know, you're paying $15 a movie, you know, you're eating shit, you know, you're eating popcorn for like $15 a box. And it's not real popcorn. It's been popped someplace in Africa, you know, in a plastic bag shipped to you. You know, I mean, really, come on. We're all being ripped off beyond your wildest belief because you're immoral and you're not bad people. You're not bad people. But the Dark Lodge is doing this. They're doing everything just to project influences, TV, everything. Yeah? That's why it's so important that you understand, you know, that if you're going to get spiritual, if you're going to get, you really want a relationship with God, you know, then God isn't playing this game. Yeah? God's not Lilith, and God's not Lucifer, and they're not playing any part of the plan of redemption of any kind. They've been there since the beginning. Yeah? They're a destructive force. Demons, and witches, and warlocks. Delusions of grandeur come out of their desire bodies when they incarnate. Just like Michael Jackson. What's the first thing he does at 5 years old? I want to be famous. I want to be famous. Yeah? Prince, 11 years old. What do you want to do, Prince? I want to be famous. I want to be famous. What makes you want to be famous? Evil. Each of their lives, they were beaten, they were molested, they had sex magic over every aspect of their life. Whether it's Michael Jackson, whether it's Prince, it's inhumanity. It's our humanity in humanity. And then these people become our rock stars. They become the people that we look up to and go, wow, you know, how'd they ever get to that? In reality, they're expressing, even Prince, he'd be expressing all of his misfortunes in his songs. Life is really hard. I lost my mom. I hate my dad. My dad did this to me. All in his songs. You know, not like, you know, let's pray to God. Let's lift ourselves up. Let's have a better day. Let's try not to do what we're doing here now, He never had God. He never had love. And we're in a society that is like that. We are rationalizing that we're not in that. We are rationalizing that we're in a world that's already saved. And we're not. We're not in a world that's already saved. Yeah? I don't care where you go. I don't care. You talk to a car dealer. Person's got a soul. They're a great person. They're lovely. Probably have a wonderful family and everything. But trust me, they need God. They're lost. They're just making it. They're eating cardboard. They're surviving. They're living off Cracker Jacks. They need God. Without God, all you got is temptation, people. That's all you get. That's it. Everywhere you look is to stimulate your sacral center. Yeah? It's to stimulate your sacral center. To deaden your base center. Deaden it. To where you get to be like Putin. You get to be like a famous person, And then all of a sudden, you're so rich and everything. Now you got to have a mansion. Now you got to have all these things. You got to have a castle with a moat. Because you're scared shitless, and you got to do all these. It's a horrifying thing looking at the lives of these people. And they destroy the land. They build in Bel Air. They build mansions that are 30. Rooms and hanging on the side of a hill where people below them are thinking, whoa, my God, I'm going to die with that house coming down on me one day. And they're just bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's no morals, there's no ethics. Even the city's getting to the point to where they're going, hey, we got more morals than you do. And that in the past would be impossible. People in charge of the city and all that kind of stuff, they're the most immoral people around because they're so downtrodden and they don't have any economic ability to gain, so they take bribes and they become very immoral. Yeah, just the way it is, our system, the way we have developed our system, developing these lower chakras to be the way they are. Yeah. So then we all think we got to join the military, we got to have guns, we got to, we're so immoral, It's beyond your wildest imagination. Yeah. And it's not because we're bad in any way, shape, or form. It's because of the lunar lords, the evil ones, people like Putin. Yeah. They don't just lie. Yeah. They set people up to fall. And I've told you about how Russia uses disinformation. Yeah. Well, what would happen if they used you? How would you feel for the rest of your life? What if they used you to destroy millions of people's lives in America and keep them from taking the virus and shot and die by the millions? What if they used you to write articles that created QAnon? What if they used you? And they're a bunch of demons. They don't even really have the name they gave you. They're demons. They don't have names. They make them up. Yeah. And they're found on Twitter. They're found on Facebook. They're found all over the place. Yeah. It's a new world. A new world where we are so surrounded by the influence of Lilith and Lucifer that it's almost impossible to discern, where it starts and where it ends and whether or not you're out of it or not. Look what Elon Musk got involved in. His girlfriend. All he had to do was not have sex and he'd be a much better person. Much better person. But he brought all of this because of his lack of ability to control himself and no ability to discern, what's a good person, what's not a good person. He's having relationships with porn stars for quite a while. He'd get rid of his wife, who he met in college, had 2 or 3 kids, normal. Yeah. And then the fame comes. And the name game. Ooh. Elon Musk. That's like saying God's name. If it becomes famous enough. And imagine what it does to that person who's not ready for that. They're just a human being, you know? But a human being with a past, which means there must have been a lot going on in the past that conjured this up. Yeah? Everybody comes from that situation. Everybody comes from the situation of being in contact with Aleister Crowley and Blavatsky, and even the Pope during the time of his hellacious activity as a demon. Many people are stuck in that in their previous lives. And they're in that ceremony and they're bloodletting and they honestly believe that this is what God wants. And they have no way of discerning because of Lilith and Lucifer. They're in charge of that. Yeah. And we have no way of knowing that, you know, like I said, you know, there are many antichrists. Yeah. There's Michael Jackson who reincarnated as Hitler. And what did I say a long time ago? They will come to deceive. They will come and dress themselves up in sheep's clothing. Yeah. And you'll look at him and go, oh, Michael Jackson, what a great singer. A singer, an artist. You can't see wrongness in any artist because through art, you could do all wrong. And it's just an expression of art. Yeah, that's where evil comes in, people. That's how the fourth ray gets up there. Is through those artists. And they all come back as lunar lords. And they all come back as dictators. But they all come back as artists. Look at Hitler. He was an artist. That's what he was before he was Hitler. And when he reincarnates, what does he do? He's an artist. Because that's who he is. The fourth ray at the brow. He's a dark lodge initiate. Yeah? If you're fifth ray, then you're a highly money-making person. Fifth ray, dark lodge initiate, like Elon Musk. Yeah? Like the guy who does Amazon. All the people who are really wealthy out there. Yeah? They're all in league with the process of that fifth ray. And it's not from the brow. It's in their sacral center. You know, just like Microsoft. He had to steal to get Microsoft. He had to steal. Apple had to steal. They had to steal. They had to go to other companies and steal from them. That's immoral, don't you think? Isn't there enough for everyone? At that time, wouldn't it have been so easy to say, hey, Xerox, you're making a major mistake here. We're going to give you 5% of our company because you're just being ignorant due to your lack of understanding. We're not going to take advantage of you due to your lack of understanding because we have research that is above yours. We're focused on, you know, these computers being in people's homes. You're not. So that mouse that Xerox had was a big thing, and they stole it. Yeah? And they stole other IBM things. They stole DOS, made it into Microsoft. Yeah? Rewrote it, bought it from somebody cheaply, and that person never got anything for that afterwards. Who does that? Who does that? Not a good person. There's so much to share. We are so fortunate. And yet, just because, you know, they have, everybody has these immoral glamours that we have to stop fostering. We cannot support these people. Yeah? You can't keep buying a new computer every 2 years. Get it right. You know? Realize that it's not going to be any different when I get another computer. I actually only look at the web. You know? I'm not like a super engineer that requires all the data, everything, you know. And not really. But in your mind, you're being led by sales of energetic principles for you to buy. Because it's a lack of cooperation. You need to cooperate with don't buy. Don't buy. Yeah? You need to cooperate with let it go. Live smaller. Live lighter. Where is Jesus Christ? These questions have to come up in your mind while you're alive, because it's the only important thing there is. How to live, yeah? How to make a living, yeah? How to be the person you're meant to be, how to live your life in comfort, yeah? And make sure everybody else has right human rights, that there's no lunar lords, that you stand up for other people's human rights, not by aggression, but by you fostering morals on the highest level, you know. So I ask people, if you're going to become a monk and nun, don't have sex. Yeah, I know it's a long story, and I explained it, you know, but you need to have that understanding. Why I'm saying what I'm saying. You need to have that understanding. I'm leading you to nature. I want you to be one with nature. Yeah, you're one with God. Nature is not a woman. Nature is God. God has laws. If you break them, trust me, it's going to come down on you. And you have all the instincts and all the intuition to get directions from nature. Yeah, it has instincts. It has pressure. It tells you how to get to the right, to the left, how to not be in that accident, how to stay home. All these things that you think you have free will for, you have to give up so that you could be safe in dharma. So God can keep you safe. That's nature. That's bodhicitta. That's your aspect inside you that makes you live longer. And then when everybody's talking in Sangha, then we all go, oh yeah, I started Carnivore about 3 years ago. I didn't know anybody else was doing it except my close friends, you know. And oh yeah, I was keto, da-da-da. And you keep talking to other people that are of the same like-mindedness, and you come to find that you're telepathically supporting each other, like brothers and sisters in the same house. Yeah? And that your morals are putting your seventh ray back in your sacral center. And every good thing you do and achieve goes out to all your brothers and sisters, and the family gets stronger. And Satan and the Dark Lodge and suffering gets smaller. Yeah? And that's because of morals. Yeah? It sounds crazy in a very immoral place like this where I have to slowly, it's a very, really, I'm telling you, this is not an easy thing to change, to change the situation of where it's at. Yeah? Where we have Playboy and we have Hustler and we have everything, and we have the Playboy channel, we have, we had in the 70s and 80s and 90s and even to today, we have bars you can go to and have sex with women that will rub against you and, give you all kinds of excitement, and ruin your life and lead you to drunkenness and addiction and a complete screw up of more chakras than you'll ever imagine. Yeah, because you'll never attain anything up here. You'll get stupider as time goes on. Yeah, none of the higher chakras will be developed. You'll waste all your time, going from one woman to the next or one guy to the next. Wasting your time. 10 years I wasted on you. God, I hate men. Well, I can understand that. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah, it is a really. You need another life. You need to do this correctly. Yeah? And this isn't going to change. I'm not going anywhere. My story stays the same. And the reason why I'm explaining this to you now this way, so that you understand the moral aspects of your intuition. Yeah? Your lower mind is really, truly your lower mind. And for it to function, you have to let go of God. Do you understand that? For it to function, you have to let go of God. That means you have to put intellect first. Go into college and being a doctor and having all these intellectual accomplishments is first over God. Because it's been built down there, fifth ray down at the sacral center. Yeah? But if it's up here and you receive teachings from me, we're a brotherhood. We're a sisterhood. We're all understanding this. We're all seeing the same problems. And we live a simple life. Yeah? And we don't have any problem with that because, I'm not like out with a Rolls Royce and flying in a super jet while everybody else is riding bicycles, and trying to live on Cracker Jacks, and I'm living on steak, Where I come from, everybody gets the same. Everybody gets the same, yeah? And you would think a person like me, good God, it should be so, you could take advantage of humanity like you can't imagine. I could, imagine. I could be the richest thing, like a king. I could affirm a king. I can affirm a rich person. I can affirm why I'm rich. Oh yeah, God loves me. That's why I'm rich. That would make all the sense in the world. But still, I am not rich. I am totally the opposite of rich. And it's not because I give all my money away. And I do. Yeah? But it's because no matter how much is given to me, it's my lifestyle to do it like this. That we are brothers and sisters. And if you're in need, what I have is yours. And that's how it works. I don't loan money. Yeah? I don't build houses and rent them to people. Yeah? If I build a house for someone, I give it to them. Yeah? Person needs a car. I work out the problem of getting the car, give the car to them, and walk away. They don't owe me anything. It's not my car. I completely let go. Completely. And we all need to do that. That's the kind of Lord you need. That's the kind of brother you need. Yeah? It's the kind of father you need. The kind of family you have to be in. And when I come, and I am like this all the time, no matter what. Yeah? Even if I'm given riches, I've been given Elvis Presley's house one time in Hawaii. And I turned it down. Yeah? I was given the top of the building of Honolulu to do a Dharma center. Top of the freaking building, like, penthouse. Yeah? Nah, not doing it. I don't need something like that, If you want to sell it and give me the money and then, but the thing is that for me to do something, I have to sign an agreement to live there. Nothing comes free, You take Elvis's house, you have to live in that house. Well, there's something going on. Because what if I want to live somewhere else? I'm not making an agreement with anybody on any level, for any reason, for anything like that. Yeah? Because we all have to live with freedom. Yeah? We all have a draw toward, I want to live in Lakeport, I want to live in Kelseyville, I want to live over here. We have a reason why we feel like that. Because we have brothers and sisters in this world. We're not alone. We come from previous lives. And we need to meet our neighbor. We need to live by that store. We need to be wherever we're at, where we're drawn to be. We're drawn there because we're trying to recapitulate the best of our life. And it's so simple. It's just a matter of being at the right place, at the right time, with the right people. And you get this emanating quality that builds up and becomes the ashram. Yeah? It's not the kind of ashram you think, but it is the ashram. Yeah? It's the Sangha, it's the Dharma, it's the Buddha. Yeah? And the Buddha provides a protective field. That's the chakras. Yeah? So you got to live accordingly. You got to live accordingly. And I can't be the Lord walking around judging people saying, you can't do that. I can't do, but I can explain. Yeah? And the explanation takes a long time. It does, because you got to go through a lot of experience before I can move you into the process of the explanation. Because it's simpler than you think. Life is so fucking simple, it's ridiculous. And we love so much. You'll never be without the essence of love and people and love in your life. You never be without that. It goes all the way through the earth to the animals that surround you. I have peacocks that run around just waiting for me to come out of a door. That's love. Yeah? I got animals all around me, and they're here because I love them. Not because they're my pets. It's because that's the way I am. I live with animals. I live on this earth to be of service. And animal husbandry, and if I'm married, I'm a husband. Yeah? And on all levels, everything has its place moralistically. Yeah, everything has its place. Even being vegetarian or eating meat. You go, oh, what a moral problem. I don't want to be good. I don't want to kill animals. I don't, Yeah, I understand. It's hard to do the right thing. It's hard to do the right thing. Yeah? And when you think you're doing the right thing, you're going to go eat spinach and carrots and all kinds of stuff just because you think you're doing the right thing. And yet they're not the things you really like. You would love a barbecued steak. Yeah? You would love fried chicken. Yeah? You would love all these things that come naturally and feed your fat and your muscles and your glands and your organs because your chakras are working and you got to feed them. You have to feed them. You can't feed them with grass. You can't feed them with vegetables. You got to feed them with nutrients, pure light, energetic influences that come from you. And you have to, with the teaching process, I have to go through this whole, and you go, oh, no sex, oh, all right, okay. No vegetarianism, oh, wow, that's not going to be easy because everybody I respect are vegetarians. And now, how am I going to gain respect in a world where everybody's vegetarian, let alone, they can drink beer and they could drink wine and they could do these things in life. But I'm trying to set people to a place to where they really are in a state of moderation. Yeah? Because if you do this, yeah, then you clear out the susceptibility of what's going on to most people on Earth. There are so many people being called by a bunch of Hindi assholes that are saying, hey, I'm from the IRS, even though they can't speak English. Hello, I'm from the IRS. You are? Yes. Well, how's it going in India? No, I'm not from India. No, don't say that. You can't say that. I'm from India. Well, okay, calm down. Now I'm from the IRS. I am a police officer, and I am going to come to arrest you. What? Wait a minute. I'm scared now, Oh, good. Very good. I need $10,000. What? Why? And go to Safeway. What? Safeway? Yes, go to Safeway. Buy cards. $50 each, or maybe $500. And then send me the card numbers. All this is IRS? You sure? I am IRS. You do exactly as I say. And your morals have none guidance. You need to be protected. Without it, these people are going to take advantage of you. And they're all over the place. Ponzi schemes. I don't care what level you're on in this world. They're out there. They're everywhere. Yeah? And you just got to be aware of it. Yeah? But the process is that how do we cleanse that process? And what's going on in the rest of the world? And how does it affect the rest of the world? Well, here's a guy here that just a normal guy. He's probably around 20, 25 years old. Wants to be a writer. Very normal guy. A really nice guy. Yeah? But he has to work in a restaurant. He's not doing what he wants. He wants to be a writer. And he doesn't have a job. Things aren't working out. So what happens? Russia contacts him. Hey, how would you like to write for us? And it's not Russia. They're not saying, hi, we're Russian agents and we need someone to broadcast a whole lot of propaganda for us on QAnon and on all kinds of things to get Trump elected. And it's not saying that, but that's what they're going to hire him for. And he has to write special interest things that are specifically lined up with a large group of other people that are being told what to do. And it looks like a real event, but it's not. They're just being orchestrated. They're actors. And they have no idea this is what's going on. This is what happens to this guy.
I wrote for a foreign government and I had no idea.
Jack Delaney is a 26-year-old aspiring writer who lost his day job at a restaurant because of COVID-19. So he was delighted when somebody calling themselves Alex Lacusta messaged him on Twitter offering him a job writing for Peace Data, a left-wing news website.
The message was saying, hey, we like your work. Would you like to write for us? Would you like to be a part of our publication? We can offer you about $200, $250 per article. And at that time, I was like, this sounds like a good opportunity for me. I can make money, get my work published.
Everything seemed to look normal to Delaney.
I looked at all the editors, or a few of the editors. saw that there was LinkedIn accounts matched to their names, their pictures were popping up on Google image searches. So, you know, at a glance, it looked legitimate.
But Locusta wasn't who he said he was. In fact, he didn't exist at all, and Peace Data wasn't an independent left-wing site. It is, according to Facebook, acting on a tip from the FBI, a Russian influence operation. Peace Data says the accusations are baseless. The Russian government has not commented.
I'm obviously no fan of Putin or the Russian government, so it was concerning. Obviously, I don't want to have any association with an authoritarian regime. So it was. I mean, I can't put in any other words that it was like one of the strangest experiences of my life.
Very unexpected for the poor guy, yeah. But this happened to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people simultaneously at the same time. That's very unexpected, yeah. And it's not just them, but it's been going on for a long time, yeah. There's another one here.
A Soviet military publication claims the virus that causes AIDS leaked from a U.S. Army laboratory conducting experiments in biological warfare.
That's Dan Rather reading a fake news story to millions of unwitting Americans on national TV. But don't be too hard on Dan. This was one of the greatest cons ever carried out on a global scale. And we're going to show you how it was pulled off. Called
Disinformation. Basically, it means deliberately distorted information that is secretly leaked into the
So imagine you're a psychologist, a doctor, a student in medicine at Harvard, yeah? Or you could be at Berkeley, Stanford, Davis, any of those places in the 1960s. What's a chance that you're going to be programmed in school, just like Dan Rather was? Taught something that's not true. Why, it's natural that human beings are homosexual, they say to the psychologists. And they go, what? When did that come up? Oh, Masters and Johnson figured it out. Oh, yeah, I read something about that. Well, you study it. Yeah, boy, how about that, huh? They went all the way to animal sex. They went all the way to bisexuality. They brought, you've seen the show, I don't know if you've ever watched it, but about 5 years ago there was a TV show called Masters of Sex. Yeah, and it's about Masters and Johnson. They're two people, and one is not a doctor, Johnson, and then there's Masters, who's this guy. He is a doctor of psychology. And they go through this process to where they're trying to investigate, the interpretation of sex, whether or not, what is making sex the way it is, because they read from Russian research papers, even though it was not implied that it was Russian research. It was implied that it was well-known psychologists who had died. And it was notes from their psychology papers that was being expressed as something that we should look into. Freud, Zeiss, all these, Carl Jung, all these people that you couldn't go and talk to and ask about. Papers started coming out. I know. I was in college at that time, in psychology at the University of Davis and Berkeley and Stanford. Yeah. So I know a lot about this sort of stuff, and I know what they were trying to do, and I know the process of, how disinformation was brought in to create homosexuality, and disinformation was brought in to create the ability for people to go into a sex movement in the 1970s. Swapping, homosexual engagements, experimental sex, party sex, orgies, swingers, You know, where today it's a common thing. Swingers a very common thing. Yeah. And it's not something we all think about. But in the psychology process that leads us to LGBT, that leads us to homosexuality, that leads us to all these different things that we're trying to deal with, yeah, it's all from fake news, fake research. It got started from there, knowing that it would lead us down a rabbit hole of sex magic, moving people to test it out, try it out. And then they would see how it stimulated the person. Yeah, the erotic ability, the waves, the levels that the person would go through in their orgasm. All those things were researched on a physical level, but it didn't have anything to do whether or not it was moral or immoral. They couldn't tell because they were just experimenting with nature. And they couldn't tell. So everything to them was that we are uncovering the inhibitions that are stuck on us due to our ignorance and our religious dogma, our morals that are put onto us, not in a very good way. Yeah, and most religious dogma and trying to give us morals was through beating and humiliation and judgment. Yeah, and it always had perversion laced into it. You know, so there's nothing. We've never had that. Yeah, you know, so everything that we have today is based on this disinformation. It's coming from Russia. It's coming from the Dark Lodge, and it infiltrates into our science. Yeah, into our ability to understand psychology, sociology, anthropology, any of those areas. It blocks our way. So in psychology, they literally made a law in 1984 that you cannot give therapy to a homosexual to help them not be homosexual. It's against the law. It's against the law. Because they based that all human beings are homosexual by nature. They base that on nothing. Yeah? And then they've trying to been catching up to that. They've been going, oh, let's check the brain. Let's see if there really is, you know, a gene that makes people homosexual, or if we all are homosexual, or is there some weird genetic problem that creates that possibility? Or do we just become immoral? And the behavior begins. And it's all about our nature. It's all about our nature. And we'll find this nature in millions of people. You know, we'll be gathering together on internet and on Facebook and on many other places, in bars, yeah, and searching for our boyfriends and girlfriends or for a date for tonight. I mean, that's the biggest thing right now on apps is finding a date. Yeah. And it's the whole thing is not a healthy relationship. Yeah. So we have to make choices. To increase those choices, we have to realize this is all about energy. It's all about energy. If we don't take responsibility, we don't know that we are transmitting our immoral aspects, the quality of the other people are taking advantage of us, and we don't have the discernment and discrimination. Therefore, we support them. Does that make sense? We sponsor them. We support them. Yeah? We just drive by and we go, oh, you know, another dancing girl bar. No biggie. I won't go there. I won't go there. You know? Another McDonald's. I don't go there. You know? But does your mind? Yeah? Do you still have a desire body of those kind of shitty-ass foods? Yeah? Have you not come to grips with your nature and find your true nature? Yeah? Because once it starts developing, you get that first initiation, and that's your sacral center, and all of a sudden, you do no harm. Not to if you're a woman, you do no harm to no man or woman. You do not step on another person's situation. You do not do anything to harm another person in any way, shape, or form. You don't take advantage of them. You don't lie to them. You don't do anything. You know, and throughout the process, you don't know that that is what you're doing, just by your innuendos, by your response, by your lack of caring, by your anger, by your suspicion. You know, all those things are projected influences that are projected through you and are now coming out. And you haven't cleared them. You have to have the experience and the education to understand why you must change this. Yeah, it's all about change. Everything is about change. And we're fully capable of change. All we have to do is change ourselves. We do not have to lift a mountain. We do not have to lift cars off of people. We do not have to be superhuman. We just have to accept the responsibility that we're going to change. Yeah. And if we do, you know, then we'll be fine. So my teaching, you know, for everybody, you know, to get through this, you know, how do you not be a channel, an asset, like our President Trump, or anybody in this world? How do you not be an asset for evil? What if this guy blows up a nuclear bomb? We should not support this guy now. Yeah? Does that make sense? And supporting immoral of anything, making yourself available for disinformation of any kind. Yeah? You're supporting the head of it. The snake. Yeah? Not just the person who is immoral and the person who does this and that. You can't do immoral things. If you own something and you're in a group, 4 or 5 people own land, you all build houses, yeah? And you work hard and you build those houses, but yet circumstances come up to where one of the people in the group, family, can't live on that land anymore. And they have to go back to where they came from because legally they can't be here. Either Canada, Europe, someplace, yeah? So that's a circumstance. You go, oh, well, you know, okay, you're gone. You're gone. Now I own your house. You know, well, that's evil. That's evil. But how much are we willing to be evil? How much are we willing? Yeah? Do we tolerate that much evil? Seriously, harming a baby, harming your brothers and sisters? For what reason? What, you think they're demons out to get you? Yeah, that's where your brain will go. That's where your morals will go to make you continue being harmful. That's how you do it. Yeah, and we don't do it this way. We don't do it this way. And we all got to do the right thing. Whatever your circumstance is, we are brothers and sisters. And if your circumstance puts in that kind of circumstance, you have to hold that. Yeah, and make sure everybody's okay through it. Yeah, because it's a difficult thing when you're trying to do a group thing or an individual thing. You're just trying to live your life, but you want to live your right life. You don't want to, you know, rip people off. You don't want to harm people. You don't want to disrupt people's lives. You know, you want to do the right thing. But it's those little things that test you. And it's those little things that if you have a chance of making a big moral change in your evil nature of greed. Greed is the worst. Greed is sex magic. It's the outcome. You know, anything you get materially, anything you get from immoral sexual activity, thought forms, actions, and that includes ripping other people off. It's a sexual act. You get off on it. You make money. You gained what you don't deserve. You know, how do you justify that? How do you balance that? You can't do that in the soul. Yeah. You have to do that, constantly do that, by justifying evil contempt as to why it's even happening. And the only way to straighten it out is not being immoral. Making sure everybody gets their right. Everybody gets equal. Everybody gets just. situation. Because if we have anybody, like here I am in Shambhala, and here I am, I'm trying to help the world. I need everybody to step up. Yeah? I can't have anybody, rip somebody off. Can't have anybody do that. We all get the opportunity to do it. Yeah? It doesn't mean that we should. It means that we shouldn't. The opportunity is the time to change. Look around you. Everybody is doing it. Yeah? But your choice is that I have the discernment and I do not have the evil to make me continue it. Because that, when you do it in that way, you're the Lunar Lord. Now you are disrupting other people's lives and harming them. That makes you the Lunar Lord. Not just a person, but literally a Lunar Lord who rips people out of their life, their dharma, their life. Yeah? That's a bad thing. Yeah? Yeah? So everything that we've got going on, we have to make sure we are not susceptible to disinformation, and that's ourselves. If we rationalize, we are creating what they are doing in the KGB. They have to rationalize disinformation in a way that they can get somebody to believe them. Does that make sense? Yeah, this person owns the house. They're not there anymore. They can't, justify that it's theirs or anything like that. They can't do anything about it. So skip it. Let it go. Let them suffer. Not that you should, do anything other than the right thing, which is make sure that the people have the opportunity to get back into that house. Or they have the opportunity to sell that house and gain what it is they got from putting into the house. Because houses cost a lot. But in normal ways, when it's immoral, it doesn't work that way. It's cold. It's cold. And you just shut a piece of people out. And that's what I'm talking about in the area of, say we make a lot of money, we should be sharing. It should be automatic in our heart. We need to be brothers and sisters. We really, really, really need that. Yeah? And you can't be a brother or a sister if you rip somebody off in any way, shape, or form of any of these things. Yeah? You can't, even in the sexual relationship, you can't do things like flirtation or things like that. It's a long road to a relationship. You happen to be hanging together. You choose to be hanging together. This becomes friends. This becomes, I want to do this with you. I really appreciate being around you. But it's not like I want to marry you or that we got to have kids or anything. But that's the way it is in brotherhood. We like to be around people that are like-minded. Yeah? And then it takes a long road to get down that road. And you may never, ever take it on as a personal, intimate relationship. But you will have a relationship. And you'll clear up any negative relationship you had in your previous lives with anybody you have in your life by instilling brotherhood and sisterhood into them. Nothing more. Nothing more. No other expectation. No, even if you get horny and you go, oh, wow, she's so pretty. It makes me really excited. Just relax, man. Chill out. Go eat something together, and just calm down. And see how it is tomorrow. See how it is through friendship. Yeah? Because karma is karma, and past lives have to do with other relationships that have separated you and harmed you. People do harm. Yeah? So we have to wait out all the time. We have to wait out and help people heal. Others will come in to keep you apart, to make you not want to go forward, to make you not take on stronger and stronger dharma activities. Yeah? And those relationships have to get healed. And you have to heal those, and then they go. They die, or they don't hang around anymore, or they change. Yeah? And you continue growing And all your past gets healed through morals. Yeah? But you staying strong with your morals. Doing no harm to anybody. Extremely sensitive to that. And the first person you have to heal is yourself. Yeah? You have to eat right. You have to not drink. You have to not have all these things going on that affect you from your lower self. Yeah? That makes you susceptible to the mass of information out there that is all misinformation. Everything in the story you don't need. It's a lie. Everything in the store. You only need like a handful of things to go to that store and get something out of that store. Just a handful of things. You know? But you got aisles and aisles and aisles and aisles. And then you get to the cash register and they got all these things they want you to buy. Bubble gum and candy and magazines, you know. And hey, this is the nuclear war is coming tomorrow, you know. Oh, I got to read that, you know. Oh, no, the Kardashians broke up. Oh, my God, you know. All right there at the last minute, you know, so we can be fed by more bullshit. Yeah. And take on gossip or thoughts, whatever hits our interests, and that lowers our mind. Does that make sense? So we have to get to a point to where we have no reaction to this stuff. It's ridiculous. And it's not like we're going, oh, that's evil. You know, really. Oh, bubblegum, you're going to eat that? That's evil, you know. Yeah, you're immoral as shit. You know, what kind of person are you? Just an immoral piece of shit, that's all. You know, look at this crap you're eating right here. You know, the biscuits. You know, holy mackerel! What a complete creature. You know, you shouldn't be even walking. You know, no, you can't do anything like that. You got to be very nice and focus on yourself. That's the only person who matters. Yeah, so that you can be kind to anybody who needs kindness. Just keep focused. Yeah. You're going there to get a nice steak. You know the kind of steak you want. You know that. You know it needs to be fresh. You're going to do all these things. You're going to read the label. You're going to look at the steak. You're going to check around. You know, you're going to do all these things because you're discerning and discriminating, and you're a very wise shopper. Yeah, and that's going to emanate throughout the whole shopping mall, everywhere. Not a human being. Not a dog, not an ant, not even the ground under the store will not be affected by you. It will. Because everything has these disoriented, disinformation bullshit, I don't care attitude. I don't care about the ground under the store. I don't care about the store. I don't care about the people in the store. That's disinformation. That's deadening your senses. Yeah, it's bullshit. You do care. You shouldn't hear this shit. Yeah? Yeah. So I make pujas, I make etheric weavers, I build Shambhala, and I give my teachings. You need those things in order to get you out of this. Yeah? Because they're feeding you the same stuff. They're giving you information, but it's disinformation. Yeah? They're giving you energy, but it's filled with hate and lies and suspicion and perversion beyond your wildest belief. And they're leading us into behaving like that. The worst possible way of behavior, they're trying to get us to do it. And they got it. They got us. You know, look at Bruce Jenner. He's a perfect example of an absolute idiot. But that's what we got. You know? He's been taken up absolutely by the Kardashians, the worst experience. If you ever wanted to be ruined and destroyed and come out of this completely changed from your true soul, enter the Kardashian family. Yeah? Live there. Poop there. Eat there. Walk around. Party there. Stay there. Have sex with whoever's there. Yeah? And come out a guy turned into a girl. Yeah? And a guy, of all guys in the whole world, you would never think would go that way. Yeah? But under the impressions, it was like butter. It was so easy. Yeah? And we're all under this influence of disinformation. So check this guy out.
Communication process in order to deceive and manipulate
Alright, just to avoid any confusion, let's pause here quickly to unpack all these different flavours of bullshit. At the top, you've got your active measures, right? These are basically any kind of covert operations against another country, short of starting a war. This includes forgeries and even kidnappings, but disinformation was the heart and soul of it for the KGB. You might be thinking that's just a fancy word for propaganda, but it's not. Propaganda tries to convince us to believe something. Disinformation is a highly organised attempt to deceive us into...
That's really important. Yeah, because disinformation is telling you something that if you go that way, you'll go off a cliff. But it's not telling you there's a cliff there. But it's leading you to a cliff, the outcome. It only takes you to death and destruction and annihilation of your ability to not be a cocaine addict, your ability to not build up the largest number of people in prisons, your ability to not be the nation that has more guns than any other nation on earth, the ability to kill more children every year with guns than any other nation on earth. Yeah? How is it that happens? What is it in us? Are we that evil? Are we that sick? Are we that stupid? No. It's disinformation. We're being told we need these guns. Yeah?
Believing it. Today, everyone calls this fake news, but that's become such a loaded term, no thanks to this guy, that it's basically useless. Anyway, we'll get on to him later. Alright, let's get back to it. Disinformation. It was such a big deal that every KGB agent was required to spend 25% of their time coming up with ideas for false stories. And in their year-end review, yes, KGB agents had year-end reviews too, every agent was evaluated on
How many proposals for disinformation operations he submitted.
You got to be fairly good at this when you were with Czech intelligence, didn't you?
Unfortunately, I have to admit, yes.
just how good were these guys? Well, that rumour that the CIA shot JFK, the story about how the CIA tried to assassinate Pope John Paul II, and the one about rich Americans buying poor kids from Latin America to harvest their organs.
Anything sound familiar? QAnon? Drinking the blood of babies? Eating babies? Making Democrats the ones who are doing it? Democracy. Yeah? And our asset Trump Russian president, builds it up like crazy. Just making sure that we have no ability to legally make him pay for his crimes. He can say, no, I didn't do it. And because of fake information and your knee-jerk situation of being a fanatic, a fan of Trump, fanatic of Trump, just by that, he comes out and says, well, he raped little girls. No, I don't believe it. Well, he just said, we just watched it, he just said he grabs women's vagina who he doesn't even know. Yeah, he does that. A lot. Not a little bit. And that's not because he's a playboy. It's because he totally hates women. He totally despises anything to do with women or black people or Mexicans, anybody but himself. Yeah? And he gets off on it. Hating people, punching people, pushing people to harm other people. He gets off on it. That is what sex magic does to you. It makes you hateful. Makes you hateful. Yeah? So imagine all these people and all the mansions they got, and they're wonderful baseball players. Wonderful race car drivers. Yeah? But what happens when they're rich? Do their morals change? Do they become hateful? Do they die because of this? And the last thing in the world they would have ever thought was their fortune. Their fortune, as though they were fortunate. And they weren't. They were misfortunate throughout the whole process. And it just added up, one thing after another after another. They sold their soul to the point to where they have no morals. And now they're living in a mansion. And they have no morals or ethics or ability to discern or discriminate the fact that this is unnatural. This is so unnatural, it's ridiculous. And now they see that they are beyond the law. Almost every rich person does all kinds of terrible things, illegal things. And they actually, in their mind, think that they're above the law. They really do. Look at Trump. He's an epitome of that. Look at Putin. He is way into that. Yeah? And all it is if you have fame, you're famous. That means you have fans. They're not gonna hang you. They're not gonna think you're the bad person because they're your fans. They want you to be rich. It's like the Queen, you know. You ask the Queen, how's it feel to be the richest person on planet Earth and live in such a castle with all those poor people out there on the street? Well, I don't see any poor people, you know. And all the poor people, when they see me, they get to live out what it would be like to be a queen or a king because I live it for them. That's what they say. I live it for them. I am the queen. That brings the queen into existence for them. And then now they can worship the queen. If there was no queen, they would not have that ability to worship the queen. And be reverent to the castle. Be reverent to the paintings. Be reverent to the golden horses, you know, and the chariots and all the wonderful king's men. Yeah, all those things. You know, that it's all just in a fantasy, you know. It's all just the Wizard of Oz, right? You all get that. That we are in the Wizard of freaking Oz. You're not with Toto. You're not in Kansas. Yeah, we've been hit by disinformation. And now we're stuck in a society where homosexuals, LGBT, and rainbow flags are everywhere. You can't even wear rainbow socks. You can't wear a rainbow tie. You can't wear rainbow suspenders without supporting Satan. I'm telling you, I don't want you to support evil. But yet you should be able to wear rainbow socks and not think that you're supporting these creatures. Yeah? So you got to stand up. Like maybe wear rainbow socks, but have a picture of a girl cussing a guy, you know, and I love you. Like that. You know, with rainbows coming out of it. You know? Change this thing. Change it. Don't accept what people make out because they're leading us down an experiment that will lead us off a cliff. And if you're like a sheep and you just follow together and you do this sort of thing, you know, you deserve what you get. But you need to be the angel you are. Yeah, you have power. You have power. You need to do this. Okay, so that's the end of all that. So now, let's do a meditation. And the meditation is the one that I did last time I did teaching. And it's, let's see. Yeah, meditation of the soul. And you need to listen to it very clearly. Yeah, because it walks you through a process to where you're given a state of protection. Yeah, you're told, imagine a golden thread, and that thing comes into you, and then you're focusing your relationship of where you're at, which is in the astral plane. Yeah, so I ask you, go to the astral plane, focus your attention there. Yeah, now let's move it up, and take that astral plane and put it in your heart, and take that and put it in your mind, and integrate that with your soul. Yeah. And now trigger that to see something that you don't see. The angel of the presence. And it stands right in front of you. And it's you. Yeah. And now take your personality and flush it right in there. Yeah. Take every aspect that you got and put it right in there. Yeah. Come out with the Trinity of God inside of you. Yeah. And manifest the dharma that is the right qualities of all the chakras in their right place through this meditation. Yeah. And you got to listen to the meditation. You got to do what the meditation says. Yeah. Focus it, listen to it, just enjoy. Yeah. But it is extremely powerful. Yeah. It's to close the door of the astral plane. Not just close it, but vaporize it. Yeah. You have to choose. You have to choose. Yeah. If you've ripped anybody off, fix it. Fix it. Yeah. Don't let it go another day. Yeah. Fix it. Yeah. You don't have to go, oh, please forgive me, I've been terrible. Blah, blah, blah. Just fix it. You know exactly what to do. Fix it. Yeah. And you will be amazed that as a member of a family, the whole family is blessed by this. But the whole family is ruined by a family that is not a family. Yeah. Yeah. We can't behave like that. Yeah. So we have to do everything we can to appreciate, what is given to us, the people that are given to us. And they're not a bunch of demons. They're people in difficulty, people who have hardship. And we're all here together to try and work this out. We have to behave as brothers and sisters and treat each other as though we're held here by the Lord. And we can't go, well, but you're out of here because you're a demon. Just because they piss you off, just because they disagree with you, you cannot do shit like that. Does that make sense? Yeah. At any moment in your life, whatever there is of anything, let it go. Yeah. You have to let it go. Yeah. And allow the changes to take place. And those opportunities will come up, and you're able to make those changes in completion. Yeah. But we have, I had a lot more to show you. There's a whole lot going on of disinformation, the process of Russia trying to make people believe that America and Ukraine is working together to create biochemical warfare. Yeah. And the only reason they're saying that is because that is against the Geneva reality in 1969, where we decided no one is to have biochemical, period. Yeah. So anybody who is working with that, and we all know Russia is the only place that's actually working with that, So they have a lot of biochemicals, and they have a lot of biochemical warfare, and they have a lot of nuclear. So then they come out again, and they go, oh yeah, and I want to let you know that we've got a lot of people out there in NATO that are threatening us, so I need my generals to be ready with nuclear attack as of right now. Yeah. So bam, he's going, okay, we got to ready our arsenal of biochemical warfare, and we have to ready our arsenal of nuclear warfare. And we're not talking about local stuff. We're talking about anybody in NATO that doesn't like us gets a missile. Yeah. This is what he's saying. This is what he's saying. This is not what's going to happen. But this is what he's saying. Because he's so evil and so immoral, but he has very little backing. This is not the time that he was back in Yeltsin time. Yeah, he's still in his head. He's still in Soviet Union. He's stuck in the Soviet Union. It's the only way they can contain the situation of oligarchs, is making sure that there's never democracy, ever. And we go back to the Soviet Union so we can get more money out of this great big continent and make very few people very, very rich and become extremely evil lunar lords on the planet and threaten everybody with every possible war they can hold, because they're going to continue pushing out. But that's not going to happen. They do not have the support. All Russians do not support it. Yeah. people in Europe do not support a war. They don't believe a war even exists. There's no such thing as a war. There's no reason for us to ever be in a war. We understand Pakistan. We understand Syria. But holy mackerel, we're Europe. Wars are over with from 45 on. So let's stay real with this. This is not happening. They're trying to push us off a cliff. And it's not an action. It's not an activity of outcome. It's to push us into fear and more orientation toward that. So we'll behave badly. All we need to do is create economic sanctions. It is sex magic and money magic that runs the whole thing. And you open the drain on their coffers as they have built it up, and they see billions and billions more in the sky waiting to come their way. But the hole is so much bigger than the money coming their way, and the source of the money that would be coming their way stops. And their ability to have that money, their mansions, their yachts, their jets, all that confiscated. So now they can't even play or sell them. Get their money back in any way, shape, or form. And the whole oligarchy, the whole process of the Soviet Union is in change. It's in change. And he doesn't know it. He thinks it's going the other way, and that's where it's got to go. But it's not. It's already established in the souls of humanity. Every single nation is being healed. And they're just the most evil. And Korea's a hard one. China's a hard one. But nothing is impossible. If you look at China, China is endowed by the influence of Buddhism. Thousands of years, the influence of Buddhism. All the way back. Even Kuan Yin, all the beautiful myths and stories and everything that come out of there is harmlessness, peace, love. Bodhisattva, bodhicitta, Buddha. So that's, that's their past. And you look at Russia. If you look at the ancient aspects of Russia, they're mystics, meditators, saints. Ancient. Go back ancient. Really far back. The land itself is full of power. There are psychic influences in the land. Psychic influences that gives us strong orientation of waking up. So that all got held back by immoral activities on a very sacred land. All land is sacred. And you carry out immoral activities on sacred land, you will get evil. It'll purge out and manifest into you. Greed. You'll want everything. You'll want the land. You'll see opportunity. You'll do and say all kinds of terrible things. And it will come from the imperil of the land that you put into the land. It comes right back at you. You have to put love, compassion, understanding, and morals into your life. And it comes out of your body, goes into the land, comes back up into you. So everybody in the nation is brothers and sisters and healed by the land. That's the nature of things. We're healed by the water in the stream. We're healed by the wind that blows between trees. We're healed watching a butterfly land. We're healed in watching a bird fly. We're healed. That's our reality. All this disinformation takes us away from that vision, that view, that receptivity, and makes us all ready to go into a little locked box, little square box on a block. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of little square boxes. We all sit in our ticky-tacky little boxes. We rarely get out of those boxes. We come out with our little briefcases, get into our taxi or our car or our bus or whatever. We're all getting out at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, get to work. Go to work, tink, tink, king, tink, tink, Okay, yes, boss, yes, sir, boss. Hey, I'm the boss. Well, what do you know? Guess I'm going to just go sit, shoot the shit, drink some coffee, and have some fun. I'm the boss. Yeah? Nothing gets done in a world like that, where you're all God in the machine. Yeah, and you're being used. You've been given misinformation, by kings, by warlords, by all these people that moved you into this cog-like situation, to where you just simply, you have no control over it. It's Big Brother. It is what it is. Yeah, but this isn't a little thing. I'm talking big stuff is going to change. All of it is going to change, and it changes through the radiation of your soul. That's how big you are. That's how bad evil is. Yeah, by expressing soullessness, heartlessness, and having just the right number of evil people ready to turn that key for a nuclear bomb to go off. Yeah? But I'm changing that. I'm waking up enough people fast enough so that there's not two people in the same room who could turn that key. Maybe one can, but the other can't. And they found that to be true. In those most cases, when it comes to a nuclear attack, there are two people that have a key, and they're far apart from each other. So one can't reach over and turn the key on the other guy, and also turn the key on this one, and they have to be turned at the same time. And you have launch codes you have to put in. You have to go through a whole process of, this is the right thing to do, this is what we're going to do. Now it comes down to two human beings, and they tried to overthrow this. War Games came up, the movie War Games, where they threw a computer in, and the computer would be the thing that turns the key. Yeah. Well, they did do that for a while and found out that the key was being turned, and there is no war. Yeah. We had that happen twice, and it happened in Russia, and it happened in America. And the only thing that kept it from happening was the guys that were standing there with the physical keys making a choice not to do the final turn. They made that choice. And we didn't go through a nuclear war. But that happened twice. That we could have gone through two nuclear wars. And it was overthrown. Yeah. Other times when nuclear bombs were supposed to be taken off, they didn't go anywhere. They just sat there. And all they saw was extraterrestrial lights hanging out next to the ships. Like, what the shit? We didn't plan on that. That's not in our disinformation packet. They don't exist. We don't have assistance like that to help us out. But we do. And you don't know of it. Yeah? And we have a lot more protection than you could ever imagine. We are not alone in this. Yeah? We are a large brotherhood and sisterhood. But we need to learn not to be harmful toward each other. Because on higher levels, those who are extremely harmless can't get very close to us if we're like that. And they can't aid us when we need that aid, like angels, like God. Yeah? So we need to do this. We need to clarify this. All right? So let's do this meditation. Okay, do invocation. Okay, repeat after me. I invoke the power, the love, and the wisdom of my ashram, soul, and monad. To guide me into the right activity in the plan. To clarify and stimulate my mind. To transform and transmute my feelings and emotions. To energize and vitalize and heal my physical and etheric body. So there is a normal flow of energy in my physical and etheric body. Through this day and every day, I ask this in the name of the Christ, to serve the One. All in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Meditation on the path of the inner light. Sit erect. Be relaxed. Be in a position of physical comfort. Withdraw your consciousness inward in slow, successive stages, using your imagination. Your imagination is a creative activity, producing definite inner changes. You can depend on this, for it is one of the forces of influencing substance itself. Withdraw your consciousness from the physical brain. Centered it deeply in the brain. Take a deep breath. Withdraw it and place it to the astral body. From the astral body to the mind. Now recognize yourself as being an integrated personality. From the integrated personality to the soul. Focus upon seeing a thread of golden light which connects these three bodies. The body of your physical brain, your astral body, and back to the mind. Keeping your consciousness steadily in the head, at the center between the eyebrows, the ajna center. This thread, dual in nature, like two golden cables intertwined, passing from the heart and head, and connects you as a personality with the soul. When you have carried it upwards and seen it aligning and relating all three aspects of the personality, then pause in your meditation and quietly, silently realize that you are now face to face with your own soul and standing before the angel of the presence, who is yourself. You, the personal self, and the angel, the divine self, are one essential reality, manifesting through three aspects. You are therefore a reflection of the Trinity of Deity. There is in reality no separation or duality, no I or thou, but simply God in manifestation, whose nature is light. Then say to yourself, having pervaded this world of the little manifested self with one fraction of myself, I remain greater, wider, and overshadowing all my daily living. Focus upon this in thought for 5 minutes. Then say, I, the manifesting self, through the magical power of my nature, revitalize, redeem, reabsorb this fraction dwelling in the body. Focus upon this in mind for 5 minutes. Then carry the life and light of the angel of the presence back again consciously into the body, and know it to be there, illuminating your mind, rendering positive quiescence of your astral nature, and invigorating and stimulating your physical body. Do this slowly, using your will. Then send forth the incoming light and love in strength and blessings to all your brothers and sisters, to all your immediate family and environment whom you seek to aid, to all distressed humanity. Then say aloud, may the energy of the divine self inspire and the light of the soul direct. May I be led from darkness to light, from the unreal to the real, from death to immortality. Okay, just take it easy. Okay, you can open your eyes. So I recommend that puja quite frequently. All of them are great. Yeah, there's not one of them that you shouldn't do. You should be listening to all of them in cycles. Yeah. But this particular one is extremely good for you. Yeah. For you to develop a relationship with other people, for you to heal yourself, for you to realize your true self. Yeah. So that you can become better at that and change accordingly. Yeah. So just enjoy, take it easy, try and hear what I said, because it's important. These morals are very, very important, and life itself tears us down and makes us more and more weak and able to carry out what it is that we should do when the choices are made, when we need to make those choices. And we're not persuaded by others with different kinds of illusions and outcomes that may come. Stand strong in yourself. Yeah. Get yourself as wise as you can, year by year, all the time. And trust that you are growing and that you are becoming more and more and more your true self. And that's an angel. All right? So enjoy yourself. Yep. Thank you.